Hello, welcome to A-Level Psychology at Sir Graham Balfour. My name is Mr. Tunstall and I'm going to be talking you through the course specifications and why psychology might be the course for you for your A-Levels. So first off, why should you choose psychology? If you've ever wanted to understand your mind better, wanted to understand the way where you have come from, where you're going, and why you behave in the way that you do and think the way that you do, or in turn thought the same things about other people, where they have come from, wanted to understand them better, get to know them on a deeper level, the way that your mind works, their mind works, and we live on Earth together and move forward, then these are the kind of questions that psychology aims to answer and is the kind of things that you'll find deeply interesting if you studied psychology A-level. Before we move forward, I do want to address that you don't need to have studied psychology before in order to do it at A-level, and because of the similarities and crossover between GCSE Science and GCSE Maths and GCSE English, the kind of skills that you will have learned in those studies will prop you up and have you working strong in A-level psychology. So if you're doing well in those subjects, you can also do well at A-level psychology. Now, A-level, psychology as a whole is in a really interesting place at the moment. We are like an arguing family, as we have 5 different approaches that all love each other dearly, but all think the other is wrong. So I'm sure you've experienced something like that in the past before. But in psychology, what that means is each of the 5 approaches are all doing different pieces of research, having different theories, different ideas of what psychology is, what the mind is, the way that we behave, and how we get to this point. And they are on the screen currently. Now, what makes this really interesting for you is that you get to listen to each of the 5 different approaches, decipher like a little detective the strengths and the weaknesses and what you think they are getting wrong, and engage with them independently and put your thoughts onto the subject. So in psychology, unlike some other subjects, you are really important. Your engagement, your ideas, your involvement are really important in deciphering and being a detective to work out the different approaches and the different research behind it. So this is all really important because unlike other science subjects specifically, we're still quite a young subject. We're only about 100 odd years old, which for a subject that's quite young. We're still a baby science. And what that means is that the research that is happening right now is really important. So joining the subject now, and if you went on to do it at university, you would be at the pinnacle of psychological discoveries and research and able to put your stamp on the subject, and we might be studying you in the future. From 2011, there has been a revolution in psychology in the way that we've been doing it and reviewing back to research that has been done 100 years ago. So this is all very present, very fresh, and very important right now. So for you to engage with it will take you further and means that you can engage with very present debates and topics. So it is really interesting. What specifically we look at in the course is the AQA A-Level Psychology course. So all this information can be found on the AQA website, AQA Psychology website, if you would want a more in-depth understanding of what we'll be going over. So A-Level Psychology is split into 3 papers, all of equal weighting, so all 33.3% of the course, and all are 2 hours long. So you'll be doing 3 2-hour papers that are 96 marks each. And each one of them is a different array of multiple choice questions, short answer questions, both similar to what you would have done in GCSE science. So the paper looks quite similar to a GCSE science paper. However, there are also some extended writing sections that will get you to write short essays like you were in an English assessment. So the assessments are a mixture of GCSE science and GCSE English skills that obviously will be developed to an A-level standard. So it is worth knowing how we get assessed. These papers will be marked on 3 assessment objectives. First one, to describe different studies. So the knowledge that you will gain, the description of different studies, their aim, method, results and conclusions. Then AO2 will be applying these studies to the real world. This is where your own engagement, your individual ideas come really important as you apply different real world experiences that you may have had or you know about to these experiments and see whether they apply to the real world. And then finally, engaging with the positives and negatives of the theories, AO3. So just as said near the start, there's so many different psychology ideas that there aren't psychology facts. There isn't one psychology truth, whereas in other sciences there may be this acceptance of different truths and facts. Here we are very much engaging with theories and ideas that can be debated with, that have positives, that have negatives, and you'll engage with and can rip into them or herald them as the new best thing. So you really get to engage deeply with different psychology experiments. So to go more in depth of the different papers, paper 1 is called Introductory Topics in Psychology, and you'll study modules like memory, where you'll look at how memories are formed, why memories are formed, where they get stored, and different models that explain different memory types. You'll also be studying attachment, so parent relationships with their children, how they can be secure and feel secure and develop, and how parents can affect their children in their development. Then there is social influence, where you look at power hierarchies with compliance and obedience, and why people behave in a certain way they do, and might be told to do certain things. So how people are influenced to act in a group or an individual. And then psychopathology, if you're interested in counselling, mental health, depression, or any kind of mental ideas such as OCD, addiction, in psychopathology, you can really get into the different ways that psychology can help people through therapies or drug therapies and different problems that we as a subject hope to try and work towards. The second paper is Psychology in Context, for one of the modules being biopsychology. So if you're interested in doing biology at A-level, this is great crossover here, so you'll be well ahead of other people who aren't doing biology, as this applies a lot of biological concepts to the mind and breaks down the genes and hormones and the DNA and how we go and learn the mind from that angle. So a really interesting module. Another module is Approaches to Psychology, which we would have studied, you will have seen at the start, the different types of approaches, and you get to go more in depth in different ones and see where they're coming from, why they are the way that they are, and engage with them that way. And then finally for this paper is Research Methods, a module which will give you all the key terms and knowledge on how to go forward and make your own research, whether that be psychology research or different types of research that you might want to do at university. So it will give you the skills on how to design your own research, go about creating research that you can properly engage with. So a fantastic module that can be limitless in potential with ideas of your own. And then finally, the last paper, Issues and Options in Psychology, with one compulsory module, Issue and Debates, which will engage across all different topics, debating in nature versus nurture, do we have free will, gender bias, and all stuff like that. So properly something you can get your teeth into and debate and discuss. And then there are different option modules that we can offer, and we can choose these as we go forward. And they will be stuff like gender, stress, forensics, addiction, schizophrenia. We will choose 3 out of those options going forward. So what psychology can do for you? There's loads of links to different subjects. So it is such a vast subject that there's loads of crossover between other subjects that you might be doing or want to take going forward. So lots of different subjects have psychology modules. So this is a way to explore them more in depth and get ahead of other people in your classes in different subjects, as well as engaging with other subjects that you really enjoy. You gain some great skills such as strong critical evaluation, a skill necessary for most jobs and all university courses, to be able to engage and not just believe what you're reading, but engage critically with it and decide the strengths and weaknesses. It helps you to make judgments and decide upon what your beliefs are and your independent ideas. You get to read some scientific articles judiciously, so break it down and decide the different procedures and areas of scientific research. So if you wanted to go into a scientific background in the future, then psychology is a subject for you. You get to create your own research, form and partake in well-rounded debates, decipher fake news and misleading information. Psychology will give you a way of looking at the world in a different manner and can engage in different things on social media and life in a way, an educated way, that will help you going forward. And finally, gain an in-depth understanding of people, their mind and behaviour. So different jobs this can help with are counsellor, social work, teacher, basically any job where you will be engaging with children and helping and supporting children as they develop. Psychology is a really important subject to help with that. In addition, marketing and advertising and leadership, any business kind of qualities, psychology is also really important and you'll engage a lot with. Then there's stuff like sports psychologist, researcher, doctor, law, politics, forensics, army, police. Psychology is one of the broadest subjects, so you'll always find something to engage and love with and will help you in many different paths. So through this discussion, I hope to have piqued your interest in A-level psychology and shown where it can help you and whether it might be the course for you. If you are interested in joining us on our studies on this course, then I would recommend looking at the AQA Psychology Year 1 book, which is obviously known by the green haired girl on the front. So if you look on any retail store, online or in person, and find this book will greatly help you with your studies and engage with the kind of debates and discussions that I've talked about in this video. If there are any problems with getting this book, it's not a mandatory for you to get the book, but we can help you with getting the book as cheap as possible. So do contact if you need any help. Thank you for listening, and good luck for your future and deciding your A-level subject.